Hello out there. Today, the wife and I just finished having lunch. Nice quiet lunch out here near the library. And it's like a little town square here. Now you got the senior center right across the street. And just down from that is City Hall and the police department. And right in front of me is fire department. And if you're hungry or need gas, McDonald's and Big Red's is over there, right next to the Fred's, which is like another dollar store. Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. Nah. No, it is Family Dollar. Yeah, I'm used to it still being Fred's. Yeah, yeah. But it's a fairly nice day out here. And got thinking about some of the old shows that used to be on, like the 60s, 70s, the 80s, maybe a little bit of the 90s. And look at the fire department up here. I remember one that was when I was a kid called Emergency. Emergency was two paramedics that belonged to one of the fire departments in Los Angeles. Ralph Mantooth and Kevin Teague, yeah. And at the hospital it was Robert Fuller. I can't remember what his character's name was. And Julie London was the nurse. Before I forget, I'm just smoking some more GLP's Robusto in my 202 Baracchini Formule. One of my favorite Baracchinis. You know. Well, except for the occasional fire, most of the emergency was just going out rescuing people for the hospital. And they were always on the phone directly on the phone to the hospital and going getting instructions. And sometimes, they might have to defibrillate. That's what they were told to do. Set a splint, whatever. But half the time, if I remember, it probably went something like this. It was Squad 51. That was the paramedic unit. On Rampart, we got we got a victim who's been shot between the eyes. Yeah, no sweat, 51. Just set up an IV and pump his hottie full of ringers. He'll pull through. Oh, and Dragnet. I think Joe Friday had to be the most straight-laced, staunchiest man in America. Just the facts, ma'am. Yeah, that was a pretty good show. Yeah. And what I yeah. What was a shame then they'd have just about all the suspects that they rounded up at the end of the show for the closing and gave the results of their trial. Like one fella, you might say suspect was suspected of blah blah blah, 2 counts of purse snatching, public disorderly, and 1 count of felony jaywalking. We'll be back with the results of the trial. Yeah. I gotta admit, a lot of the shows when I grew up had some personality to it. Some of them weren't great. Yeah, Adam 12, and of course there was a few of the PI shows I liked, like the Rock. I did like the Rockford Files some because they get they get nice and smart ass with each other. Ah. Mm-hmm. As a kid, well, for a long time, here and there I would watch the BBC on PBS. I did love the BBC. Yeah, some of the comedies like being Are You Being Served? Monty Python. Oh, I missed them. Yes. And Benny Hill. That was one dirty old man. Mm-hmm. And then there's Mystery. For a while I just watched the intro. You know, it showed, like sketch art. First, the graveyard and some dog that looks like a basset hound taking his sweet old time with papers in his mouth walking across. Yeah, and a lady on the roof. And a handful of fellas playing croquet in a rainstorm. Yeah. Yeah. Barely. Yeah. But later on, I did watch more Mystery. That's more of my love's influence on me. I got watched the episodes of Sherlock Holmes, Hercule Poirot, and my favorite, Inspector Jules Maigret. God, there were so many shows. Werewolf? Oh, Nero Wolf. Yeah, that was later. That was the 90s. That was one of the good ones from the 90s. I still love to read Rex Stout. Yeah, the 80s. And I even read them. That even some of the commercials did have some personality. A few of them do now, but a lot of them don't. A lot of the commercials they have now, either they want you to pop pills, shove you into a hospital, ambulance chasers ready for you to call and sue somebody, or it's the undertakers. They're ready to put you in a casket and then dump you in a premium boneyard somewhere. That costs every penny that a lot of people make. Good God, how the world has changed. Yeah, tell me what shows that you remember with fondness. That's all I got for now. Thank you for dropping in.